I don't want to just make it race, like based on race, but
well, I do, because that's what it is. And it's a known thing.
Yeah, and it's just it'd be like other people we have in drawers full of all the narcotics, and it's
Right.
like, you gonna give me a lidocaine injection when I'm in pain?
You know that in medical school they literally teach, and I'm talking. This isn't like 20 years ago. They used to. This is still happening in medical schools. They're telling medical students that Black people have a higher pain tolerance. Like, it's unfathomable.
Tony's a cute, my love is pure. Tony's a cute, my love is pure.
Show your love for Taquita Love. Comedy is cure.
In our comedy journey. But me and you met. Did we meet in David A. Arnold's class?
We did, yeah.
Were we students together, and then
Yes.
you became his assistant?
Yes.
Okay. And I don't know what happened after that, but we became friends.
Yeah.
I think a lot of my friends, a lot of my friendships, like, stemmed from David A. Arnold.
Yeah, definitely.
This is like every episode. I'm like, we miss you, David. Okay.
It's true.
Can you tell God to send me a man, please? I know you're an angel now. Can you put a bug in somebody's ear and be like, Taquita need more than a dog? Please.
That's hilarious.
Rest in
Get
peace.
in line, because I feel like I've been sending prayers up as well. I don't know how it works, if you can work on multiple blessings and miracles at a time.
I
But
know. I'm just like, Lord, come on. There's a lot of people up there. Come on.
yeah, exactly. I've got ancestors and still crickets. But
I don't know. Maybe, I think it's where we live, but that's a whole nother
neither
story.
here nor there.
Yes. I'm happy you know the sayings. I think I was I was talking to Rob Hayes, and I said either hook or crook. Do you know what that means?
by hook or by crook,
By hook or crook.
it means like either I'm going to take it or,
I'm going to steal it?
yeah.
Okay.
Which is kind of the same thing. Maybe I don't know. What does it mean?
Well, to me, it just means like, I'm going to do it regardless. I'm going to get it done.
Exactly.
And he was like, he had never heard that. But the fact that you were like, neither here nor there, I'm like, that's a saying that I grew up hearing too.
You know, I'm all about the express. I'm usually the person that's like trying to explain what the sayings are, because nobody knows what the heck I'm talking about. Can I cuss on this?
Everybody been asking, and I think you can be yourself.
Okay. All right.
That's
That's a neutral answer.
Can I cook? Can I cuss?
Should have asked that before. we started.
No, so we met, we became friends. I don't know what happened. We bonded in some way, and out of nowhere, it was maybe because I took David's class millions of times. But then you became the homie.
Yeah.
And
And
at
look at us
some
now.
point, you were getting on stage, and we were in the comedy streets doing shows,
Yeah.
kicking it. I wanted to ask you, what your comedy journey has been like, because I know right now you're focused on acting. But I
Yeah.
wanted to know, like,
Yeah.
how did it start in your journey in stand-up?
So I started stand-up in 2011. Somebody who shall remain nameless. I met with him, just like a mutual friend introduced us, and he was supposed to be like a mentor to me. And he suggested that I try stand-up because I was at a point in my acting career where really nothing was happening other than like music videos. And that's not...
Yeah, wait a minute. Can I say the music video?
Sure.
L.A. Was it Snoop?
It was Snoop.
What's
Yeah.
the song?
I Wanna Rock.
I saw her. She killing it. Like, she's so dope. She was, I want to rock. And you had a little run of videos, but that's not none of my, this.
That's not the kind of stuff that's going to get me like a SAG award or an
Yeah.
Oscar. So I had to move on. And it just so happened that I met somebody who suggested that I try stand up, and I did, and I loved it instantly. Like, as soon as I did it, it was terrifying, but I also really loved getting to run my mouth and kind of just share my opinions about stuff. And I was able to use my acting on stage, and you know, you got to sell jokes, and the acting stuff really helped with that, because ordinarily I'm very shy and very reserved, and you can't be that way on stage. Like, you got to really sell your jokes and go for it. So I did it for about 5 years, strong, like steady, strong, doing a lot of shows and stuff like that. But I got a job, like a full-time job, in 2015, and it was in nonprofit. So that means I had to get a second job because
See, I got a job in nonprofit, which means I had to get a second job.
exactly. Because so I just was working so much that it just wasn't possible for me to be on stage the way that you need to be on stage. And So it just kind of fell off. And also at the time, stand-up just had sort of stopped being fun for me.
Yeah.
I think at the 5-year mark, at least for me, at the 5-year mark, now you're really in it. Like, you've gotten through all the fluff material,
Yeah.
and like, it really kind of separates the men from the boys, so to speak. And naturally, I'm just a very private person.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily feel like putting my business out there all the time. And it just became more and more difficult for me to really pursue it with the same passion that I had in the past. So,
But although you stopped doing stand-up, meaning getting on stage and doing stand-up, you never left comedy.
right.
So tell us
Yeah.
about that journey with comedy outside of stand-up.
So I knew I'm somebody who goes hard and then I kind of fall off. And I know that about myself. So I was like, I'm not going to do this with stand-up. So let me set my life up in a way that I can't get away from stand-up. So I became the assistant to David Arnold to do his stand-up comedy class, The Art of Stand-up Comedy. And because I knew that I'd be constantly getting asked, when are you going on stage? When's your next show? Like, it would be a constant in my life, and I wouldn't be able to just fuck it off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we just started working more and more and more together. I helped him with his podcast. He did 2 podcasts. I helped him with both of those. And yeah, he just had me doing more and more stuff for him. And yeah, it kind of just took over. So I was still involved in comedy, and I still did kind of get to use that muscle, but I just wasn't the one on stage. I was more supporting David's career.
Yeah, you a lot of people don't know that, like, I'm not gonna, like, I call you when I need help with jokes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even today I'll be
Yeah.
like, girl, I need to run my set. And it's just like, funny people are funny people.
Yeah,
And sometimes
thank
it's kind of
you.
like, I don't know, Sally, you don't and you act like my manager one time with
Yeah,
Ends.
I get like that.
Yeah, she was like, because I wasn't performing at the Comedy Union. I don't think I was passed or whatever passed would look like. And I think one night we were at Ha Ha, and I just got a new car, and we
Yeah.
drove in my new car to the Union. And you went in the office and talked to Ends like you was like Suge Knight, or like you was like Dollar Bill from Players Club. He was like, look, put Taquita on stage. You was like, and I was,
That's hilarious.
and he didn't put me on stage that week, but the next week he put me on stage.
Yeah.
And then I think since that moment, he been kind of like, oh, you want to do a spot before Comedy Union closed?
Yeah.
But it was one of those moments where it was like, I think that was my first like earned like
Yeah.
spot at the Comedy Union where Ends was like, come, I'm gonna come,
Yeah.
I'm gonna mess with you a little bit. And I think he was scared of you. I was like,
Well, I do have a reputation in the street. I be fucking people up. So no, not at all. That's such a lie. No, you're extraordinarily talented, Taquita. So I don't, like, you weren't going to get up there and embarrass me or,
for real, girl,
make
have you
me.
seen me at
Oh my God, you're crazy. You're crazy, but you're hilarious. And I don't care that you don't want to stand in your glory right now, because I'm going to do it for you.
Thank you. That's what real friends do. Like, yo, I so appreciate you
Well, I
in
appreciate
every
you.
way. Like, I'm like, where's Nyema? My first feature spot, was it my first feature spot in San Diego? I believe. You came. Were you at the show?
Did
No.
I? No.
You were. Wait.
I came to
It's not San
Seattle.
Diego. Seattle.
I came to
Wasn't
Nate
it?
Jackson's club.
Yes.
That's where that was.
Was it Seattle?
Yeah.
No. Damn. Is it Seattle?
Yeah, it was Seattle.
That was the first, and I was like, it was my first time featuring on the road,
Yeah.
and like you were there, and I remember a moment that made such a difference to me. Like, it was after I performed, and I think I had another set, and it went. Oh, the first set went okay, but there was a moment where you were like, you need to move this joke.
Oh, yeah,
To
yeah.
and you need to spread these jokes out. A effortless, like, second nature type of conversation. It was just like, oh, okay, yeah, that didn't.
Yeah.
You need some space. And I did it the second show, and it killed.
Yay.
It was
Yay.
like, yeah. And I was like, Nyema don't be knowing. People be sleeping on you. I'll be like, Nyema, I need you.
I'm available for joke writing, punch up, any of it, all of it. Well, this is the beauty of being David Arnold's assistant for 5 years, sitting in class and listening to him give feedback. Like, that stuff really took hold with me, and I sort of I learned from the best. Like
Yeah.
the best part of class to me was always, in addition to meeting all the comics and just getting to laugh for 4 hours and then getting money for it, like listening to David's feedback was just invaluable. And I so regret that he didn't really like you to record stuff if it was your set and he was giving notes, he was cool with it. But I so regret not recording more of his classes and his feedback, because the stuff that he would say was like
golden.
Oh my God. Like I remember being in his class and being like, do you do therapy? And being like deadly serious, because you would say stuff and he would be able to glean from it like what your issues in life were. And it was just like scary accurate. And not that I'm anywhere near that level, but I definitely think some of it rubbed off on me.
Course.
And I can, I'm able to see. And it's easy when you're not in it. Like you need outsiders. That's what comics do. We all are able to look at each other's stuff and say, you need to move this here, move that there, and all that stuff. So
I love just how, and then another thing about when you're friends with somebody, they know their limits.
Yeah.
So I remember we were in, it was Tacoma. And you went shopping and you was like, no, I'm not going shopping with you. Like, you're not coming. Like, man, just stay home. I have a shopping problem. People don't know that.
You do,
like,
Taquita. It's okay. I have my own problem. I have a spending problem.
I wouldn't say a problem, but shopaholic-ish. I think if I didn't have a home and a place to live, or if I lost my teeth, then that would be like the problem.
Right, exactly.
But like,
exactly.
You was like, I'm going shopping. And I'm not going with, you're staying here. And I was like, well, can I get a separate Uber and I'll just meet you at the place? And he was like, no.
It's like, no, because I felt like I was enabling a thing. It wasn't good. And I have issues with codependence. So I had to enforce my boundaries that I learned about.
Nyema was like, fuck you and that shopping, bitch. I'm going to get some outfits and you can't come.
Yeah.
But I love you for that.
Tough
because
love.
No, I really do. I love you for you've been tough loving me a lot. You be like, leave that boy alone. Why are we talking about him? But yeah, so you're funny, period.
Thank you.
What do you plan to do with the knowledge and the wisdom and the skill set that you have with identifying joke structure and like knowing comedy?
Yeah.
Is there a plan for that?
I don't know at this point. I mean, I was that like high school student that never left.
Yeah.
Like I just took the class and never left.
Yeah.
So, there's really no other plan. I wait for you to call
I'll
and
be like,
do punch up for you.
I was like, Nyema, where you? I will be calling, girl. I got stuff. I got so many new jokes.
All right.
Okay, so stand-up comedy, but your comedy does bleed, or your skill set for comedy does bleed into your work as an actor. I know
For
I saw
sure.
one of the shorts that you did, and it was, we actually went to, you remember that? When
Yes,
we went to,
I do. Oh, it was the TCL Chinese.
yes,
Whatever, Chinese theater.
Man Theater,
Yeah.
and saw you perform.
Aw.
That was my first time seeing you on stage.
Yeah,
Not on
like-
stage, seeing you perform on the big screen.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I
that
was
such a
just
great night.
like, damn, she good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know I'm trying, I'm trying to stick with it and get more, I have a manager. I want an agent. I want to go back out commercially because it definitely, I miss it. I burnt down on it for a while, but I definitely miss it. For sure. So, but I'm still auditioning and I'm doing 2 web series right now, and definitely comedy helps in terms of not just my skills on camera, but just having it on my resume.
Yeah.
I know for a fact gets me called in to places that I never, I auditioned for Wedding Crashers 2. And I know for a fact that's because of my stand-up, you know? I don't know if they watched my stand-up. I don't know how that all came about, but I know that my comedy background has to have had something to do with that and some of the auditions that I get.
Do you ever plan on creating your own show? You have an interesting life.
Thank you. Like a sitcom?
Yeah.
I've thought about it, and this is again something you need somebody outside of yourself to see.
To tell you?
Because
Yeah.
I don't see
Yeah.
it's just my life to me. It's not funny. It just isn't funny to me, but I'll tell you stuff and then you'll put it to me in a way where I'm like, oh, that is funny. That does sound funny,
Like, girl,
but
if you don't create this show because like your background.
yeah.
Tell
Well,
us briefly like about
Yeah.
your background.
well, I'm biracial. My mother was Jewish and my dad was black, and they both had some issues in life. They were, my dad was a drug addict and an alcoholic, and my mom was severely mentally ill. So that, comedy comes from pain.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm hilarious. It was pretty like chaotic as a childhood would be when you're being raised by people that they themselves probably weren't raised all that well. Hence the problems in adulthood. But it is endlessly fascinating to people for some reason, just being mixed, which to me, I don't see what the big deal is at all. Like it just, it comes, I don't know anything different. Like I've never been monoracial. I don't know anything different. So
I understand that, but when you tell me stories like you had a birthday party, a birthday celebration, and we rented it. We were in a house somewhere, Malibu or something.
It was like in the desert somewhere actually, but let's say Malibu. That sounds a lot more elite. Yes.
And I got a chance to meet side of your family, and I felt like I was I was with my people. Like I feel like I was with like my Chicago Chicago family.
Yeah.
And then I know you say like there was two sides to the family, which is mixed people. They do just have two sides, but everything's always funny to me when you tell me. Although it be sometimes it's dark.
Yeah. Yes.
But I'm just like, can you please write the show?
Yeah.
Can we see?
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there.
No, I love it. And this is why you talk about me like always building you up, but you've done the same for me. Like, you've always been the one to like hype me up and encourage me when I've not been wanting to do stand up or when I've not even thought that I was funny and all that stuff. So I appreciate that very much. But there's definitely stuff that's ridiculous. Like this is okay, I get why this is funny. I was raised by my white mom. Like every Thanksgiving, every holiday was spent with the white side of my family. And it wasn't until I was like, I had to be maybe 30 that I spent Thanksgiving with my dad's side of the family. And my aunt asked me to like cook a ham and bring a ham. Like I'm Jewish and Jews don't eat ham at all. So for whatever reason, I was like, yeah, I can bring a ham. Like I got you, no problem. But I had I don't cook on top of it. I don't eat ham and I don't cook, period. So I have no idea why I lied.
The black side of the family was like, you better bring some pork.
Right. So I ended up going to the store and like buying a pre-cooked ham. And I just took it out of the refrigerator, put it in my car and brought it to Thanksgiving. Like, ta-da! And apparently you have to cook pre-cooked ham.
I was gonna say like you just presented it.
Did not know that. Yeah, I really thought I did something, and it was mortifying. So like situations like that,
like to me, like when I hear that, I'm just like that is the opening scene or that's the scene. Like I'm always like I'm very passionate with creating. Like the execution, I'll be like, oh whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just like when I'm like can you like
the idea is there.
But that's neither here nor there. You get down how you live.
Yeah. Is this in HD? Because this part of my leg is not shaved.
Girl, ain't nobody gonna see that. Now, see, that's the side. That's the other side. That you had your auntie side. Now, that's the mama side. Like nobody can see that. Now, if you look at my ankles are covered because
Covered in what?
You can't see them. Because I know what time it is.
That's funny.
Okay, so we are rolling. Okay, so
you should leave that in.
What?
That whole bit. But okay,
I will.
On. Okay.
If you say it, look, I'm gonna do it because
that ain't my phone.
I don't know.
My shit's on airplane. I can't. I'm respectful of your set, Taquita.
Right. Girl, bye. Girl, shut up. So, okay, so yeah, you had the two dynamics of the family lifestyle, and I just think that your perspective on everything, is unique and it's hilarious.
Thank you.
And at some point, I would love it if you would, do that, but no pressure.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I know. One day I'm gonna get it together.
Yeah. So I'm trying to. Okay. Work wise, are you doing anything?
I'm doing 2 web series right now. One of
names?
which you are in. It's called Pundits.
Yes. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
With
Darian Sills Evans.
Yes.
And he's such a superstar. He keeps booking work. So it's kind of on like hiatus right now, but that's super exciting. And I'm doing another one called Dogs the Musical.
I want to see that. Where is it?
Yeah, it's not out yet. I think we have one more weekend of shooting, and then they're going to chop it up into, I think, little 5-minute episodes. But that one's a mockumentary. It's very funny. I play an actress, and it's just fun. It's been really fun shooting it and getting back out there.
I'm so happy to
after
see you
COVID.
out there.
Yeah, thank
I know
you.
I saw it and I was like, when you say musical, I think of like going out to watch it. And then you was like, it's a web
Yeah.
series. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
I gotta wait.
I know. And also everybody's like, oh, I didn't know you sang. And I was like,
I didn't know you sang for real too.
you know, it's quiet as it's kept. I used to want to be a singer. Like when I was really young, I wanted to be a singer. I took voice lessons and like I sang, I did a show off Broadway, like a play off Broadway. I was acting in it and I helped produce it. And
What was the name of it?
Sex, Relationships, and Sometimes Love. It ran at the Producers Club in 2011.
Okay.
It was only for like a month, but there was like an opening song and then it was like just a bunch of scenes and then a closing song, and I did both of the songs. But now it seems like a whole lifetime away. Like if somebody's like, can you sing? I'm like,
What's your, like, do you know what
Not me.
your range is? Like
I'm
soprano,
an
alto.
alto.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
an altoid. I'm an alto too. I did you know I used to sing in a choir?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I used to sing in the choir at church. And I was an alto, but I was the one that they were like, like, what is it called? Who harmonizing?
Okay.
Is it harmonizing when you blend it in with everybody? Like you're not
Yeah.
singing on your own tone?
Yeah.
I would never say it was me, but it was me all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just doing your own thing.
Yeah.
Sounds good though. I love
I sang in a choir for years, and something happened. I caught the Holy Ghost. At some point I didn't think it was possible, but I caught the Holy Ghost one day. It's bad because I was like, oh, like it ain't gonna get me. It ain't gonna, like, you know, like I was outside. I was out fornicating like the night before.
Oh my goodness.
And just like, you know, and something, the spirit was thick in the church.
Yeah.
And people was falling out everywhere. Like
Yeah.
it was just like people was just like slain in the spirit.
Right.
And then like something told me to dip down. I dipped down. And then like when I came up, my titty
no
popped
longer
out.
a hoe.
Yeah, my titty popped out, so I was more of a hoe.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, God exposed me. And I was like,
Oh my
yeah.
God,
But
that-
no, I don't think people saw it. I put it back in real fast because
I guarantee you some people saw it, Taquita. If there were any men in the room, I promise you.
when I went to church
saw it.
the next day, it was like, we got a seat for you at the front.
Oh my, right, exactly.
Sister Love got a parking spot.
Oh my God.
Play that song. Let the spirit move.
See, that
No.
would be I would no longer belong to that church. I would just never, that would have been when I would have left Chicago. I would have just
I
moved.
got cursed out. My mama cursed me out real bad.
It wasn't your fault.
I
I mean,
told- I
them
was-
things be thangin'. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, it was the spirit. I was
Yeah.
like, you mad when the spirit just visited me for the
Yeah.
first time? How dare you?
It was somebody's spirit.
It was, I mean, it was so that happened, and that was my
God.
experience with singing. And then after that, I was kind of like, maybe the choir ain't for me. I was like, let me just shout from the pews.
Yeah,
Like, let me not be
yeah.
on blast. But you sing alto. I don't mind. Did we ever sing like
Yes,
karaoke in the
and
car?
I get
Yes.
camera shy. I get
Yes.
embarrassed. As soon as that camera goes up, I'm like,
Well, I can't remember where we were at. Was it Tacoma?
yeah, it was.
And we wound up driving past that nude beach or something. What was it?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it was
I
crazy.
dragged you to go see. Oh my
Somebody's
God!
house.
I went to take you to see Kurt Cobain's house.
Yes.
and you're like, "Who's Kurt Cobain?" I was like,
Don't say. I know who that is.
Nirvana.
Now. I know who that is.
And you're
now.
like, "Who's Nirvana?" It's like, oh my God, the white side strikes again.
or me just not knowing. Like,
I guess, yeah.
But I know now.
Yeah.
We went. I don't know. We tried the trail and
Yeah.
we bumped into a bunch of elderly people walking
Yes,
around
in the nude.
yeah, as if it was.
In the buff.
It was.
Yeah.
It's not cute. I wish it was like some younger, tender. Like that
I
would have been better.
I know. People
I'm
get
sorry.
real like bold as time goes on, but we wanted the like 20 something 30
Yeah. So
year
what's
old
going on?
young men. But
I don't even know how we
back to the
digressed
Holy
that.
Ghost. Where's the Holy Ghost when you need him? We don't need to be talking about this. We sound like cougars. All right, go on.
Maybe a little bit.
Not proud
Not
of
at
it.
all. Okay, so but I'm a nurse.
Yeah.
And so, like, since my background is medical, a lot of my comedy is based on my experience as a nurse.
Right.
But I always ask my guests, like, if they had any, like, crazy experiences in the medical field or any unexpected trips to the emergency room.
Yeah. Well, I'm a hypochondriac, so it's quite frequent that I, like, have something that I think is wrong with me and I need to go to the emergency room immediately. But there was one time in particular where something was wrong with my eye. I don't know what it was, but my boyfriend at the time, who shall remain nameless, that we were talking about earlier.
Okay. You know who you are.
He was like, you need to go to urgent care. And I was like, I can't see. Like, I'm literally with one eye closed.
What was wrong with your eye?
I don't know. I don't remember, but it was actually serious. And thank God that he did make me go to urgent care, because apparently I would have lost vision in that eye. I don't know what happened, but he drives me to urgent care because I can't drive myself. Like, I can only see out of one eye. And I'm like, my anxiety is flaring, and we get to urgent care and I like go up to the counter, sign myself in, and I go and sit down, and he's like, now mind you, it's like 11 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Okay.
The middle of the week. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to be across the street at Pie 'n Burger. And like, let me know what happens. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? You're going to leave me in my time of need to go get a fucking cheeseburger at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday?
Good cheeseburger.
I guess, but that again is not the point. The point is I'm about to be legally blind and my man is trying to get a milkshake. I was so mad.
Why? How you jump? So what was the symptoms? What made you go to the emergency room?
I don't remember I'm shocked that I can't remember, because I'm usually such a hypochondriac that I was like, this is what it was. I don't know if it was probably pain, and I think it was really red, and it wasn't pink eye. I've had pink eye once before. It definitely wasn't that, but like, I think it was like a painful kind of situation. And I wore contacts, so I don't know if it was a torn contact that scratched my eye. I don't know what it was, but thank God I went to urgent care. Thank God he got his Pie 'n Burger, and I lived to tell the story.
What was the after? Like, so you went to the emergency room. Did they
I went
do
to
surgery?
urgent care. Technically, no. I don't remember what they did exactly, but they sent me to. I think I got like prescription eye drops, and I couldn't wear my contacts for like a week, and yeah, and that was kind of it. But no permanent damage was done. I do want to say that. Thank God.
I'm like, when they said you could have been blind, I was feeling like, where your ass at? Bring me a milkshake too.
I know, at the very least, put some rum in it or something. It's gonna be rough. That same boyfriend, I had a deviated septum, and he took me to like get surgery. And again, it was a random time. It was like early morning, midweek. I'm about to go into surgery. Like, this is a big deal. Like, under full, like,
Anesthesia?
Yeah, anesthesia and everything. And as soon as I'm getting carted off to surgery, it's like, he asks, okay, so what time's it going to be done? And the nurse is like, around 12. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to the movies.
Maybe that was his coping mechanism. Maybe he was like, let me get away. So
you're very optimistic. I think he didn't give a damn about whether or not I lived or died.
That too.
Like,
well, he got you there. He was like, he drop you off. Like, hey, I'll take care of it from here.
I guess. Where is your compassion, sir? But this is why we're not together.
Did he bring you some food?
No,
okay,
he didn't.
Yeah, that's trash.
Yeah.
That burger place? Did you eat it?
No. And honestly, he didn't go because I was joking about it, but he could tell, like, if you leave this fucking waiting room, like, you're going to be leaving alone for good.
Brothers be hungry, and I wonder what movie did he go see?
I don't know.
That trumped your surgery.
I don't know. I also don't know what movies are playing at 10 a.m. in the middle of the week. I don't know that he was even going to the movies. I just think he didn't want to be around. Maybe it was an anxiety. Maybe he had medical anxiety.
People don't like the emergency. People don't like the hospital.
Wow.
A lot of people that work there don't like the hospital.
Well, if you're transporting me. I need you to put up with the hospital for as long as I need you to support me. Or you should have told me this when I asked you to be like my support system. You should have said, I got a dip, can't do it, ask somebody else.
But you survived.
What are you gonna do? I
It's
survived.
Okay. You can see your eyes is popping.
Exactly.
They glowing. I can't deal with your ass.
Still shining.
I'm trying. I think I remember visiting you in the hospital.
Oh yeah, for another procedure.
You just letting people cut up on you.
Hey, when you get full benefits,
You be just
like
do it all.
I don't work a full-time job for nothing. You don't use these benefits
Yeah.
to the fullest of their capabilities. Or otherwise, what's the point of working this job? You know?
Well, yeah, you got to get the benefits.
Yeah.
Give me that. Give me the medical.
Yeah. I got to meet my deductible. How about you? What's your medical history like? Like, who
I
do
got a
you
lot.
trust? You're a nurse. You're an expert. So what's it like for you going to the doctor? Are you
I don't trust
constantly
nobody.
trying to like?
I don't trust any. The thing about me is I've been a nurse for like, I want to say over 20 years, right?
Wow.
So I'm a know-it-all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm kind of like, I can figure it out. And then
Yeah.
if it gets to the point where I can't figure it out, then
Right.
I'll
Then you
reach
need
out.
help.
And then when I reach out, if they don't do it like the way I want them to, I'll be like, yo, when did you get your license?
Oh wow.
But that is internal, right? I don't say that out loud.
Okay.
So I had an experience where I had, but a lot of stuff like I think a lot of the healthcare experience that I've had has been some of the stereotypical healthcare that people talk about, like black women's pain not being believed or
yeah.
being minimized.
Yeah.
And so I had an experience like that. And I don't know if I could blame it on the particular physician or just the stereotype that has been forever.
Yeah.
I had a muscle spasm, which like I was in a car accident at some point and I had muscle spasms from that. And I had one day I went to the emergency room with the muscle spasm. Like literally, I probably looked homeless because my clothes were not even all the way on.
Yeah.
I had to get an Uber to the
couldn't
emergency
drive.
because I couldn't. I was in
Wow.
so much pain and nothing took the pain
Wow.
away. And so when I went to the emergency room doctor, gave me an injection of lidocaine to the area. Lidocaine,
what is that?
This is numbing medication.
Okay.
So I was like, I need pain medicine and I need some type of like anti-inflammation type of medicine, if possible. So I was in there, and I think sometimes because we don't go in there kicking and screaming, they be like, you're not in pain.
Right.
But I'm like, yo, I got my shirt halfway on.
Yeah.
Like, do you think I came out the house on purpose like this?
Right.
And the doctor gave me a prescription, not even anything in the emergency room. He gave me lidocaine injection. So it's like, okay, we're gonna give you a shot,
bare minimum.
right? And then he gave me a prescription for 3 muscle relaxants, like 3 pills, 3. And I'm just like, you're gonna make me pay a copay for muscle relaxants to get 3 pills? And it didn't make sense. I was like, can I get something for the pain?
Right.
Like right now. And the doctor would not give me anything.
Wow.
He just was like, oh no, the lidocaine should numb it and you should be able. And then I was like, so when it flares up again, like I have a diagnosis of muscle spasm. Like pain management should be on the spectrum.
Right.
Like nobody comes in an emergency room for a shot of lidocaine.
Right.
And I guess he thought I was drug seeking. I'm like, I'm not drug seeking. I'm a nurse.
Wow.
I was like, give me Toradol. Toradol's a IV anti-inflammatory. I'm like, give me that.
Start dropping names.
Yeah, I'm just like, and he was like, he refused. I think the lidocaine, I immediately called my doctor that was at a different location, and I told them what happened.
Yeah.
And I let them know that I was going to the emergency room at the facility that they worked at. And when I got there, they gave me pain medicine, and they treated me like I should have
Like
been
a human
treated.
being.
Right. But it was just one of those things where like, how many people go to the emergency room? And I don't want to just make it race, like based on race, but
Well, I do because that's what it is. It's a known thing.
yeah, and it's just it'd be like other people we having drawers full of all the narcotics. And
Right.
it's like, you gonna give me a lidocaine injection when I'm in pain?
You know that in medical school they literally teach, and I'm talking. This isn't like 20 years ago. They used to. this is still happening in medical schools. They're telling medical students that Black people have a higher pain tolerance. Like, it's unfathomable.
Yeah. And me working as a nurse for the time that I've been a nurse, you see it. And, you know, I think a lot of people are like, well, how do you combat that? If more people were in the position to make those decisions by, you know, going to school and becoming the physicians that are making those, you know, decisions and educating. And even when you get in that realm,
Right.
you're always, you know, the minority.
Right.
Unless you are the person that's like, this is my clinic and I'm running everything.
Right.
And this is how we're treating people.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, so like I had to go to 2 emergency rooms to get pain management.
That's so crazy. And you have the education and the experience, and it sounds like you were advocating for yourself. Not everybody's that comfortable doing that, because we think of doctors as, well, if the doctor said this, then it must be. So who am I to question it? It's so messed up. I've heard that as a Black woman, if you ask for something and the doctor says no, like if it's, hey, I think I want to have this test done or this medication, and the doctor says no, you're supposed to say, can you note the refusal in my chart? Because now they have to write it down. So now there's proof that that you as a patient were denied care, that if 2-3 months, years down the line, something happens, they can go back and say, oh yeah, I asked for this and this wasn't given to me. This is the doctor that I'm now suing, you know?
Yeah.
So.
I think that like things like that is great, like long term, but like right now, I need help right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel for like the elderly, and I feel for people that don't have any knowledge.
Exactly.
But they just like, oh, the doctor said do this, so I did it. And like I remember my dad had, like, the doctor gave him a medication. I think it must have been for he had diarrhea or something, and they gave him like an anti-diarrheal, like. And they didn't tell him when to stop taking it. So he kept taking it.
Right.
To the point of where he was
Now
so
he's backed up.
constipated that he had to go get a KUB or an x-ray of his stomach.
Wow.
But it was just like what the doctor said. They didn't tell me to stop taking it.
Right.
And it's just like there's a naivety that we have when it comes to, like, it could be back in the day, like just our parents, but it's like I speak up. I'm like, you could yell at me, but look, I'm gonna make sure I'm okay if you're not gonna do that, which is why I'm here.
Right. Well, Chris Rock he said it before, but he just said in his last special that his mom, they weren't allowed to go to the doctor. Like if there wasn't a Black doctor in town, they would get seen by or a dentist rather, they would get seen by the vet. So it makes sense that, I'm not saying that they were in the same situation necessarily, but like historically, our experience with doctors, not good in this country. Not good. And there's no compassion. Doctors don't have the same compassion that they show other patients.
Yeah. I mean, generally, I think that there's just, you know, kind of how there's like, oh, they're not all of them are bad, not all of them are good. And I think that's the same component with everything. It's like, you know, you got a few that, you know, you have to be like, yo, do you see like what's needed versus like,
just
can we get some help?
Off, right. Yeah.
But so that was my experience. And so I've become very vocal and when it comes to things like that. And I'll be very quick to be like, I would like to file a grievance on this particular physician because this was done and expressed and it was ignored or something like that.
Good.
And that's just the way, like, you know, to some it'd be like that's minor, but what happens when they ignore things that are major?
Exactly. And if you don't speak up, it's going to be, and I know for me, it's going to be sitting on my spirit for the longest. I'm be like, I should have said something, you know? So you got to.
I think for me, since I've worked in the medical field for so long, it's kind of like, I am the voice of the patient that's laying there.
Yeah.
So it's like, if that was my sister, my cousin, my brother, like I would want somebody to be like, yo, something's not right. And you could yell at me because it's 3 a.m., but they can't tell you. Exactly. I'm going to tell you. And if it's a flop, if it's a false alarm, you know,
then so be it.
Oh, well.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, but so that's, I've had great experiences, but that is an experience, like as a nurse, to be like, I'll be like, trying to be on my P's and Q's. And
Yeah.
I'll be coming there with my vitals. I'll be like, I took my blood pressure at this time. And, because I'm thinking like steps ahead. And I'm like, I need this. When I
Yeah.
call my doctors, I'll be like, I need this. And this is why I need it.
Right.
And can you write a prescription for it? And
See, I do the same thing. Like I self-diagnose all the time, and thankfully, I'm usually wrong. So maybe it's a good thing I didn't go to nursing school, because that kind of stuff, I'm already a hypochondriac. I don't know if having the more knowledge would help or hurt me, but
sometimes they be like, no, this is why we think but a lot of times I'll be like, well, this is why I feel like this.
Yeah.
Can we try this? And if it don't work, can we, what will be the plan after that?
Right.
And like I had an ankle, something was wrong with one of my ankles. And I was like, can we get x-rays of both to see to make sure that nothing's wrong with, my doctor was like, sure. She was like, yeah, get this radiation in your body if you want it.
See, you should get a discounted medical bill for that, because you're helping the doctor, and to have to pay full price for
it's
that.
still a
It's not
practice.
right.
People be putting so much, trust
In medical professionals.
and just in general, everybody, like you go to the dentist and they pull out the wrong tooth. You're
Right.
Like, I felt you working on the wrong tooth, but I ain't say nothing. You know what I mean? Like, no, you can speak up.
Yeah.
But that's my little soapbox. But so you have dudes that are gracious enough to take you to the doctor,
Right,
but
but
they
that's
be
it.
leaving. They be like, you know what? They got it from there.
Good luck with it. Trifling. Just
Well,
trifling.
Nyema, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Taquita.
You did tell us about your two
My
web series,
yes.
and then hopefully we'll hear more about everything else that's going on.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah.
I also have a short that's online that I did with Lexi Grace.
Mm-hmm.
She's a hilarious comedian and writer and producer and actor, and she's learning Spanish. She's just the most motivated person I've ever known in my life, I think. But
I love Lexi.
She's great. We did a short called An Uncooked Ham that's based on the story that I just told you, and it's hilarious, and it's online.
A short.
Yeah.
So y'all did it together.
We did, yeah.
So that is the building block. That's the first step to your series.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe.
Can we just acknowledge that that's the
Okay,
part
that's
of,
the seed that will hopefully grow
I
into.
can't- Is it online?
Yeah,
Okay,
it
I can't
is.
wait to see it. I'm gonna take a look at
Yeah.
it. Well, can you tell everybody where they can find you, camera two?
You can find me on the internet. Just Google Nyema. Are we going to have like a Chiron? Because nobody's going to know how to spell Nyema Tannenbaum. But I don't know. Find me on Taquita's Instagram page if you're too lazy to.
She like,
figure
you
it
know
out.
what? I'm not even gonna tell you how to spell my name. Just if you you see who's doing the
You
show.
see
just,
what it is. Come on, man.
I can't stand your.
Nyema. Nyema.
Okay, yeah, but you can also find her on my on my Instagram too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna post it.
Tony's a cute, my love is pure. Tony's a cute, my love is pure.
Show your love for Taquita Love. Comedy is pure.
But as always, you want this. I had one dude was like, hey, you think you could bring a brother the clear machine home? Oh, the clear machine. He was like, yeah, ma, the revival. Clear.